You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the November 17th meeting for the Michigan City Redevelopment Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Michigan City Redevelopment Commission's regular meeting. Today is Monday, November 17th at 2 o'clock. We're in the Common Council chambers in City Hall. At this time, I'd like to call the roll. Clarence Hulse.
Here.
Phil Latchford.
Here.
Sheila Brose-Matias, I am here. Tracy Tillman.
Present.
Sherry Wilson.
Here via Zoom.
Thank you, Sherry. We're glad you're here. And Tom Domkowski is absent. Thank you. We have a quorum. Next on our agenda, the approval of the minutes. You have in your packet the minutes, and you received them by email, minutes for the executive session on October 16th, and our regular meeting, which was held after that, also on October 16th. I would entertain a motion to approve. Or comments, if anyone has any comments.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the executive session for October 16, 2025 and regular hybrid meeting October 16, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for the executive session and the regular meeting on 10/16/2025. We're going to do a voice vote since we have a member who's called in via Zoom. Clarence Hulse?
Here.
You mean aye? I gotcha.
Aye.
Phil Latchford?
Yes.
Sheila Brose-Matias, yes. Tracy Tillman?
Aye.
Sherry Wilson?
Aye.
Great. Thank you, everyone. We have a majority approving the minutes. Next, we have the claims from November 10th, 2025. We want approval of the claims. Skylar, will you go through the claims with us?
Absolutely. This is claims for as of the November 17th, 2025. So for October 2025, we had payroll, staff, and commissioners from our operating account. We had Amazon for office supplies, Great American Financial copier fees for 2025, Office Depot for office supplies, Saranac Law Offices for legal retainer for October 2025, Van Ostdahl and Farrier, that's the annual contract for the WinScribe dictation program that Debbie uses for our meetings. From our North TIF, we had August Mack for 2025 environmental activities, 8/4/25 through 9/28/2025. August Mack for Trail Creek SMP for 7/21/2025 through 9/14/2025. Baker Tilly for continued disclosure, 12/31/2024. That's half from the North TIF. And we had Baker Tilly from the North TIF spending plan, SOLA, 7th Street and 7th and Wabash. That was all of that together. Barnes and Thornburg, legal services for SOLA ending in 9/30/2025. Butler Fairman Seifert for engineering Washington Park Boulevard streetscape. Butler Fairman Seifert for engineering Washington Park Boulevard streetscape. And Northwest Indiana Fence Company for the installation of the fence at St. Paul Lutheran Church for 818 Franklin Street. NIPSCO for electric service EV stations, 8th Street as of 10/30/2025. Schneider Geometrics for engineering Highway 12 and Lake Ave Relief Sewer. That was 9/1/2025 through 9/30/2025. Saranac Law Offices for legal services for North TIF, October 2025. Smith Group for engineering to move You Are Beautiful sign, 7/26/2025 through 9/26/2025. And the Chicago Consultants for consulting Fifth and Pine Development, 8/1/2025 through 10/31/2025. Our South TIF, we had Baker Tilly continued disclosure for 12/31/2024, half out of the South TIF. Baker Tilly for professional services from in the South TIF. Haas and Associates for South TIF Connectivity Improvement Project. Connectivity Improvements, 7/9/2025 through 9/31/2025. Haas and Associates for South TIF Connectivity Improvements, 10/1/2025 through 10/31/2025. MC Police Department for police vehicles purchased, we approved them on 10/16/2025. Reith Riley for CCMG 2025-1 construction pay app 1 corrected. Reith Riley CCMG 2025-1 construction, and Reith Riley for CCMG 2025-1 construction pay app change order number 1. Saranac Law Offices for legal services for the South TIF October 2025. Zimmerman Volk for our final report and presentation of our residential market study. In the East TIF, we have Baker Tilly for professional services in the East TIF. From the Northeast TIF, we have Baker Tilly for professional services in the Northeast TIF. Any questions about any of those?
Any questions? Anyone? I have a comment that the fence by the St. Paul Church playground looks absolutely wonderful. And I've seen lots of children in there safely playing. That's great.
It really changes that block.
Yeah,
Yes,
it looks really great.
Yes.
Any questions or comments from anyone? All right, let's go through the approval process. Aye or nay, Clarence Hulse?
Yes. Hey.
Mr. Latchford?
Yes.
Sheila Bros Matias, aye. Tracy Tillman?
Aye.
Sherry Wilson?
Aye.
The claims have been approved for November 17th. Next, we have the financial report. If you could do the same thing for us, Skylar.
Yes, this is a financial. This is our balance sheet for 8/30 as of 8/31/2025. Cash in our operating account, we have $229,766.18. From our South Side TIF account, we have $8,665,221.53. In our Southside TIF debt reserve account, we have $336,308.50. In our Southside TIF capital account, we have $16,199.79. In our North End TIF account, we have $2,406,071.54. In our East Side TIF, we have $775,178.19. In our Northeast TIF account, we have $1,902,993.25. In our Transit Development District, we have $242,039.05. Loans receivable. Our County Business Loan Fund, we have $94,829.59 for total assets of $14,168,607.62.
All right, we also have a financial report for September. Shall we do them separately? Okay. All right, let's take approval for the October 31st one by vote. Clarence Hulse?
Aye.
Phil Latchford?
Aye.
Sheila Bros Matias, aye. Tracy Tillman?
Aye.
Sherry Wilson?
Aye.
All the ayes have it. The report has been approved. Next, we have the financial report for 9/30/2025. Same
Excellent.
process, please.
Yes. This is 9/30/2025. Cash operating account, we have $906,442.89. In our Southside TIF account, we have $8,678,016.82. In our Southside TIF debt reserve account, we have $336,308.50. In our Southside TIF capital account, we have $16,199.79. In our North End TIF account, we have $2,312,000. I'm sorry. Let me back up. $2,312,915.10. In our East Side TIF account, we have $776,056.19. In our Northeast TIF account, we have $1,404,501.21. In our Transit Development District, we have $242,307.31. In our County Business Loan Fund, we have $94,829.59 for total assets of $14,067,579.40.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions or comments? Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to approve.
So move.
Support.
We have motion and a second. All those in, Clarence Hulse,
Aye.
Phil Latchford,
Aye.
Sheila Gross Matias, aye. Tracy Tillman,
Aye.
Sherry Wilson.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The report for 9/30/2025 has been approved. Next on the agenda, we have public comment. Please be aware that the Redevelopment Commission also accepts comment when we are taking a vote further down on the agenda. So at this time, anyone who wants to speak about something, please feel free to come on up. Tell us your name and your address, and tell us your thoughts.
All right, my name is John Van Gemeren. I live at 2426 Hideaway Point. It's off Shorewood. It's actually part of Long Beach. Okay. To give you a little history about myself too, I've lived here all my life. Okay. I wanted to talk about the solar project. Actually, I'm getting to the point where, I'm going to consider moving into a condo someday. Right. And when the solar project was first announced, it was like, great. I might be someplace I would really like to live someday. Right. So I looked into it. I've talked to the realtors about it and everything like that. But you know what? I don't think I ever will, because there's too much going on down there. Hotel and condos. It's just too much in a small area. And it takes away, for example, on a condo. If I want to live in a condo there, how many parking spots am I going to get? One. Because there's so much going on down there. There's limited space, so you get one parking spot. Well, I'm married. I got a wife. We got 2 cars. You're going to force me to get rid of one of my cars? We'll just make it condos, or just make it a hotel, but spread it out a little bit. Make it available for everybody. Some of the other things that I wanted to talk about, your view from there. It's going to be pretty tall. It's going to be like 12 stories tall, right? There's going to be a hotel and condos there. And, I go back and I look at the new parking garage over there, and you can see a lot, and the views are great from back there. But when you get up front closer and you get up 12 stories and you look to your left, what are you going to see? NIPSCO. Okay. You're going to see NIPSCO. Who wants to spend $1 million on a condo and look out your window and you see NIPSCO? I don't want to do that. If I'm going to buy a house or a condo for $1 million, I want a nice view of the lake and everything like that. So I don't know. I'm just up here saying my major drawback is NIPSCO. And if there's any way that we can get NIPSCO to relocate, I'm not saying they need to go away or anything like that, but they can surely get them to relocate. I read in the paper once that they were going to be decommissioned. And I remember it was going to be 2026. Well, that's next year. But then I also read they're not going to be decommissioned, and they're going to become a gas-fired plant. The longer they stay here in Michigan City on the lakefront, Michigan City will never really completely move forward. There's no other town, New Buffalo or Saugatuck or Hound or Charlotte, none of those towns have power plants right in the mouth of the city. None of them. I'm just saying that my biggest comment is, if we can do what we can do to get rid of that power plant, we should do it. That's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you, John. I think a lot of people would agree with you.
Hello, board. Long
Hello.
time no see. Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. Unfortunately, my comments are more questions, because I have more questions. I'm a curious guy with a lot of questions. I noticed the Northeast TIF balance went down by 500K. Curious what we spent that on. I think I'm finally in the right board to say that last year we advanced $400,000 to the Elston campus project. And I'm wondering if we have a project report on that, or a status report of, is that moving forward? Because that was an ongoing obligation of $400,000 a year. I think we all want that to be successfully redeveloped. We're approaching the end of the life of some of our TIFs. I understand the Southside TIF is pretty close to expiring. I wonder if we're going to have a report about that. What is the additional value that's been created in these 25 years, and what is the addition to the tax base to the city that they're going to receive when the TIF does expire? I think that'd be a good information for the people to know. And once again, I will mention it to this board, although you don't directly control it. This meeting is not on today's municipal calendar. And I know you don't put it on the calendar, but you should make it known to whoever is responsible that this meeting, and this was a rescheduled meeting, in fact, so it's more important to be updated. In fact, if it wasn't for ALCO putting out there this week in LaPorte County, I probably would have missed this meeting. So once again, our municipal calendar is not up to date. But I'm excited to hear about whatever good things we're going to hear later in today's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for your always provocative comments. Scott always makes some really good comments, and some of them are things we need to work on. So let's take that under advisement. Any other members of the public who wish to speak at this time?
Yes, good afternoon. Ron Muir, 105 Roberta Avenue. It's my understanding that the Redevelopment Commission has control of the old police substation at the corner of 6th and Willard Avenue. And, it's very dilapidated and in very poor condition. And I'm just not understanding why we addressed it for years with the Perry administration, but we're still not setting a very good example. If the Redevelopment Commission has control of that property and is not addressing it, I mean, it needs to either be raised or sold, or something needs to be done. I mean, just to sit on it doesn't seem to make any sense, and it's setting a poor example throughout the west side of Michigan City. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments?
The Redevelopment Commission does not own it. It's owned by the city.
Well, that's worse. Yeah, you guys have not been.
Yeah, you have mine.
She does not.
Actually, this was a part of a congressional, Congressman Frank Mervan. We submitted a request that actually made it through, but was stymied and held. So, we are part of that, fiscal year 25, where that would be, created into a resource center. Remember, it's a subset of an opportunity hub. So all that was submitted. It was in the news, and since then, well, we know what's happening with Congress right now. But we had all of the numbers and all of the money, and I think it's to the tune of $500,000 that was a part of the award that's kind of been stifled. So it was resubmitted this spring. So we will take that back and follow up. But I think the last update was about 6 weeks ago from Congressman Mervan's office for that. So that's kind of where we were, is creating a resource center for the west side. And it had veterans things in there. We were going to utilize it for CDBG and some other groups to be in there to provide services on the west side. So it's a fiscal year 25 project that it's Congress is where we're at. So as far as following up, I will double check and see if there's anything else that we need to do. We've been trying to keep it boarded up. We've gone inside. I went inside also with our inspector, Sue. And we all walked through it to make sure that it was still stable in that way. But it did make it through the process with Congressman Mervan's office, and it's a part of that fiscal year 25.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. That building has a long history. It was a substation for community-oriented policing. So I would mention that there is often funding in community-oriented policing line items at the federal level, and that certainly would be another way to find some funds. That's great. Thank you for that update. Any other members of the public who wish to speak at this time? Anyone online? Hearing none, public comment is closed. Let's move on to the adoption of the 2026 TIF spending plan.
Madam President, would you like for me to
Yeah,
take it?
please.
Yes. So you had this
If
present.
you could frame it first.
Yes,
what
so
we're talking about.
absolutely, absolutely,
Thank you.
100%. So every year, as of some recent legislation, I believe in the last 3 years, took place first time last year, we have to file a spending plan with the DLGF every year that basically says what we think we're going to spend TIF money on. We try to do everything from infrastructure to if there's loans that we're going to do, if there are grants we're providing, if there are bonds, it takes into place all of our bond spending as well. But it's not, I want to be very clear, it's not a budget. It is a plan of, we think this is what we're going to be spending this year. We put money in there. It can be adjusted throughout the year. We have adjusted it last year with an unforeseen expenditure. But it basically is something we are required to do with the DLGF every year. One of the items, the reason why we did not adopt it last time, one of the reasons why is because we had a request from our schools district, and you may recall they had requested some money from us. In the past, we had provided grants to the schools over the last, I think, 5 years, 6 years. I think it was somewhere to the tune of a few $1 million, and we needed to figure out what the effect of SB1 was going to look like over the next 2 years before we made that commitment. We worked with our financial advisors, and based upon the money that we're looking at spending and the projects we're looking at spending that money on, we think that we can allocate about $600,000 a year to them over the next 2 years. And on that third year, we would ask them to come back to us, because at that point in time, we should have a better model or a better financial model or analysis of what the effect of SB1 will be over the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
So we added that in.
Skylar, just because there's people who are listening that might not know what all the acronyms are.
Sure.
So if you could slow down just a bit.
Yep.
And tell them what DLGF is.
Oh man, you're gonna ask me that. Department of
A lot of people are listening
yeah.
and they don't know what we're talking about.
Department of Local Government Finance.
Finance.
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say funding.
So we
Finance.
submit a report to them and we have to let them know what we're doing with them.
Every year we have to submit this report. It has to go in by December 15th or so. So soon. And then SB1 is Senate Bill 1, which is basically the adjustment of tax revenues that happened right after the first of the year, I do believe. And it took effect in July of this year. And there will be significant reductions in revenue provided by property tax, essentially.
Right.
So we'll have to be figuring that one out over the next few years.
So could you explain again about the money to the Michigan City area schools, what that's
Yes.
for, and what our plan is going forward?
So every year, we historically in the last 6 years, we have provided money to the schools, which we are allowed to do by state statute. And that money has to go for economic development activities such as school teacher training, they could use it for workforce training. In the past, they have used it for technology to basically, what it says in the law is that they want us to be compete with the global economy. In the past, we had done it for technology grants, basically to make sure that all of our students had the one-to-one, I think the Chromebooks and things of that nature. That's actually where that came from, was from grants from us, from the Redevelopment Commission, which helped us positively during the COVID years. If you may recall, we had one-to-one already where other schools were trying to get that. So we're able to do that, and we added that into the spending plan. I can find out where it is in here. Sorry. But anyways, it's added into our spending plan to the tune of $600,000 a year, and we'll be doing that. We typically pay that out in May of every year. And this May would be no different. We would pay out to the schools for $600,000.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Anyone?
I do have a question.
Okay.
I like the spending plan. It's great, very detailed, allows you to want to understand where the money's going, including 700,000 for public safety equipment and vehicles. But on page 2, under grants and contributions, it mentions a $500,000 grant without a description. Do you remember what that's for?
Good point.
Good question.
D5.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. Actually, I think that might be a typo. I think that should be our $600,000 right there. Yes.
That's the one to the schools.
Yeah.
I looked elsewhere. The school grant isn't listed anywhere else.
Yeah, and I'm.
So that should say
Yep,
650.
It should say 600,000
It's for MCAS,
for MCAS. Yes.
technology or,
Capital
good
expenditure.
catch, Phil.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just reading through all this, making sure that I did this right. Yes, you are correct.
Because it's not listed anywhere else,
Yep.
the school grant.
Yeah, it doesn't specifically say school grants. It just says,
Okay.
what grants are you going to be providing? This
Okay.
would be it, 600 grand.
Okay. So on the document that, we're going to vote on this, but on the document you file,
We need to get
You
that
need to
changed.
get
Yep,
that
to 600 grand.
Okay.
Absolutely.
thank you.
And that was really the only holdup was we needed to see where we were falling with, Baker Tilly had yet to do the analysis, like to see how all this fit in and what would be left over and over the next 2 to 3 years. You may recall the schools were asking us for money over a 3-year period. We really couldn't do that over that 3-year period simply because of Senate Bill 1. We don't know we kind of know what the effects are going to be, but there may be changes that are going to happen, and we will know better in 3 years if there are changes that affect the tax rates, or if they stay as is, where we sit with the tax rates as they are.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments on the spending plan? So upon our approval, you will submit this? Is this correct?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I will. What happens is I provide this to our controller's office, and they are who submits it on behalf of the Redevelopment Commission.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it will be submitted subject to the change we just mentioned.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the spending plan as presented with the change that we made in D5. That should list $600,000, and I don't know if you want to add the word education grant or whatever.
Yep. We can do that.
Okay,
So move.
all right. We have a motion, a second? Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second to support the spending plan approval. Clarence Hulse,
Aye.
Bill Latchford.
Aye.
Sheila Gross Matias, aye. Tracy Tillman,
Aye.
Sherry Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you, Sherry. We have a unanimous decision to support the spending plan as amended, not amended, corrected. Thank you very much, everyone. Next, we have the development agreement with Tailwinds Business Park. I believe they're here to do a presentation to us.
Yes, they are here tonight. We have the developers. I believe Matt Rossman and David Duran will be making those presentations.
You want to frame it for the?
Yeah, absolutely.
They know
Thank
where
you.
we are.
I have been, we've been working on this one for quite a while. I think a lot of this kind of came out of, we've been working with the South TIF connectivity project for a while. And that all kind of came out of the 421 corridor plan, which was created in, I think, 2016 when we did that. But it's taken us a little while, like with all plants, it takes a little while to get them going. So basically, we were approached by the owners of the property to the east of Menards and to the west of Cleveland Ave, in between the movie theater and kind of Walmart area. They came to us and said, hey, we would like to basically implement a piece of your South Corridor connectivity plan. Here's the plan for the project. We need help with the road. And I'll leave it at that. And I don't want to steal their thunder because I want them to be able to present the full picture to you. But I will tell you, this has a lot of moving parts in that they own the land, and we still have to this is one piece of the part. They still have their entitlements and subdivisions and things like that we would have to complete. And with that, I'm going to hand it over and let you guys introduce yourselves.
First of all, thank you. I'll introduce myself. So we're in public record. My name is David Duran. I live at 218 Sheridan Street in Crown Point, Indiana.
Matt Rossman with ICS, 11035 Broadway, Crown Point, Indiana. Thanks.
Yeah, so just to piggyback a little bit what Skylar says, there's a lot of moving parts here, but the very first moving part is hopefully your consideration today for a term sheet that allows us to understand the roles and responsibilities and the definitions of what this project may be able to do going forward. And then that will kickstart the other boards and commissions to kind of follow suit based on the timelines that we've been working for and towards for this project to go forward. Our legal team is Heather James and Mike Miller, and she's been working directly with Adam and Alan from the city's process, dotting the i's, crossing t's, and have a lot of communications going back and forth on this document that we're talking about here today. But just for more of the public record, for the people here in the audience that may be watching online or that might be covered down the road here, what Tailwinds is all about We're talking about a business development, business park on about just short of 15 acres that is just a little bit east of Menards and Lowe's, just south of where the AMC Theater is at, and just on the boundaries of Cleveland Avenue, that street, Cleveland Avenue, and in that little corridor right there. There's an opportunity there for public participation and a great public to private partnership on creating a roadway that would connect a business park that would match the vision that's currently going on in Michigan City. We want to make sure that we're in that vision. We're talking about expansion, economic opportunity, and employment that really can help that south corridor. And I believe there was a comment earlier about that TIF area might be sunsetting here in 2027. We're hoping that that TIF area will be allocated going further east. And this project here could be a catalyst for better things to come on the next 25 years of the vision of that corridor as you continue to develop the vision for your community here. The location advantage that we want to talk about, this again, we talked about where it's located at, and it fits right in the combination of visibility, accessibility, and being very friendly for the industrial business park atmosphere that could be right there by which currently in place with the Lowe's, Menards, and the infrastructure that's already been established here as we continue to look going further east. Your participation here, because this would be a public roadway. This would be something dedicated back to the city, working through the developer, to the community itself. It would be a spec NDOT development road from top to bottom. And as we look at this and the expansion, you go further east, we would make sure the infrastructure below ground, your sewers, utilities, and things like that would be sized properly. So growth would continue to go that way. The roadway itself would be conducive to proper traffic flow that would flow not only for the business park, but connection between Cleveland Avenue into our existing economic development that's already to the west. This creates jobs. I know that's a big part of today's philosophy with redevelopment. What is the return of our value? What's the return on the investment? And just looking at the construction side of this alone, with fully 11 units being developed over the course of the time and frame that we're describing here, the roadway public improvements of that roadway itself, we would look at over 700 jobs being created over the lifetime of this development, just in construction side, not the permanent side, just construction side along with the 11 buildings. And that's about a $50 million plus construction payroll to our local trades here. And I want to make a preface here that we would be using union trades to construct this, hiring the people who live here in Michigan City and the surrounding local trades that support the development of Northwest Indiana. Permanent jobs. Once it's fully built out, we've used the IDC format about what can be created based on 10 to 15,000 square feet office space, warehousing, business park philosophy that the state of Indiana uses. This could and should create just under or plus or minus 200 brand new permanent jobs. And that's over $10 million of annual payroll that goes into it. So just on the other side of collection of tax dollars that come from a development of this size, over a $30 million vision for what we're talking about, the ongoing local option income tax that's created to another bucket of Michigan City, you're looking at, anywhere from $140,000 to $150,000 based on payroll of today going into your local option income tax for not only Michigan City, but for LaPorte County. And that's just based on today's wages. That'll grow as wages grow along with it as well. The private capital, we talked about the investment for this. It's a $30 million project. It's leveraged with, again, from the private side, the developer, which is Matt and his partner, own the property. So we're not looking to be speculative and say we got to make deals with other people. We are the people coming in here working directly with you guys on this consideration for this agreement. And if you look at that, based on what we're asking here for today, with your guys' participation in that term sheet, on just the first phase, which is the public roadway, you get a 15-to-1 return in your ratio. I think it's pretty good. I think if I could tell you today, I'm going to take your stock and go ahead and give you an 8 to 9% return, you'd sign up all day long. 15-to-1, that's a home run in our books. The long-term community economic value of this, Tailwinds answers the real immediate need here. Talking with Skylar, talking with Clarence, and we've had these great discussions over the last 12 months. The need is for a business park of this size to be able to have places where if you're having growth in other areas of the community itself, maybe the north side, the west side, the south side, those locations are growing. They need brand new facilities as you guys redevelop other corridors, housing, commercial development, Your TDD is a big part of what's happening in Michigan City. Places like this are really the core areas where people have come each and every day who live here, who buy those housing, buy those condos, or have businesses here that need to expand in bigger areas. But where they're currently located, they can't go up. They can't go linear. They have to expand outwards. They can't do that because they're landlocked. So development like this is really key to the vision what you guys are trying to establish here. And again, the public to private partnership works well. We're in this with you guys, okay? We've got stake in this as well because things don't happen. You're going to get a roadway. That estimate right now, what you have in front of you, is conservative about $3.1 million. That's on the conservative side. We know that's probably going to go higher, but you're capped at $2 million on your first investment, right? If it goes higher, that's on us. And we're going to improve that, working directly with your guys' public works, your boards and commissions, going through the planning commission for our entitlements. And we understand that if other things need to be added to that project, that's going to fall on us, not you guys. Now, how do we get repaid back on that? That's the second phase on that term sheet. And the only way we get paid back is if we deliver the product, we deliver the assessed valuation, we deliver those 11 units over time. If we fall short on that, that's going to fall on Matt and his team, be able to hold that carrying cost on themselves. Your guys would get a $3+ million, if not more of a $4 million road for half the cost. It's on us to be aggressive, go out there and to deliver what we promise here today. So we look at this stuff from a private to public partnership. There are things in place here that safeguard this commission from getting something that will be a road to nowhere, okay? You're going to get a road to somewhere because things are going to have to happen, or if not, we're going to hold the short end of the stick on this deal here. But we agree to these terms. We think it's a good deal. Hopefully you guys will consider this deal as well, and we're here to answer any questions. So that's just kind of a snapshot for everybody that's first hearing it, that's in the public here today, or any commission members that haven't been caught up to where we're at today with those term sheets.
If I might add, the second piece of that he spoke about, Scott asked the question earlier, the return, things like that, it is a fact that a large chunk of the South TIF goes away in 2027. This would be, from recommendation of Mr. Mauser and myself, this would be the opportunity. We have basically barren land at this location right now. This would be the opportunity to kind of start a new TIF and kind of start the second phase of where we're going to go on the south end of town. There are some thoughts. We've been in contact with some folks near Cleveland who would like to annex into the city. They've asked. This could be beneficial to them as well for future infrastructure expansions, things of that nature, pipes and pavement for them. But this would kind of be that second phase he's talking about. It would be at the same time, if we move forward with this, we would also come back to the commission probably after the first year and start our process of TIFing, meaning we'd start here, go to plan commission, go to council. We would start that kind of, it would all run kind of parallel, if you will. So just add that into that.
Yeah, to piggyback on what Skylar says, if we're looking at the alphabet A to Z here, we're at A today, right? And for us to get to B, we got to get past A. And that's what we're looking at, just strictly at the term sheet and take the temperature of the commission here and how they feel about not only this, but the long-term vision, what could be in front of Michigan City as they go forward. And the annexation is a big part of that.
I will tell you, so he mentioned, Mr. Uran mentioned the $2 million. The $2 million would be made available through a loan, forgivable loan to them. There are a few extra steps with that, meaning that we would have to work with our Economic Development Commission, our EDC Commission. We've worked with them numerous times in the past with the train station, and I think most recently with, what did we do recently with the EDC, our EIDs? Or no, with SOLA, with our bonds through SOLA. So we would be doing something similar, but the EDC statute allows them to loan money, the Economic Development Commission, but we have to do that. We have to provide the financing for it. So that's why they're before us. We would have to agree to do this. Then we would go to the EDC, and from the EDC we would go to council, and then after that it would be provided to them in the form of this loan. I have confirmed that we do have $2 million available. That $2 million would then be paid over the course of 3 pays. They're kind of benchmarks, if you will, on the building of the road. Keep in mind there are other items that have to go into the redevelopment agreement. There's still a subdivision that has to happen, the laying off of 11 lots, I do believe, and then the laying off of the road. And that road would, at the time of subdivision, our city engineer's already kind of weighed in a little bit on it, but he would definitely make his final recommendations at time of subdivision for the NDOT spec road. To what else does it need? Does it need? He's already added sidewalks and curb and making sure the stormwater is right. There are a lot of other pieces that have to be reviewed and approved before we. But we know right now the cost of it's going to be approximately $4 million or somewhere thereabouts, 2 to 3.2. And right now they're asking us for to commit to the $2 million in the loan. So just a little bit more information.
Question about digital infrastructure. I don't see that listed under stormwater, sanitary, electric, gas. Will it be digital infrastructure, broadband, and all of that buried when you're bearing everything else?
Yeah, typically the whoever the IT provider is, they will come in and they will actually put in most of that infrastructure. So that's why we don't list it.
When you're on the front end, though, before while you're putting in sanitary and water and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had to pay to put in the IT infrastructure in a development.
Okay.
So typically it's the local provider and we coordinate with them. They will run the conduits and the hubs and the sleeves, but
Okay.
they do that on their own. We just coordinate
Okay.
with
As long as it's done on the front end, because we're
Yeah,
as a community is trying to catch up to all the building that's been
Yeah.
done without.
it's disruptive to put it in
Yeah,
later
yeah.
because there's usually
Okay.
driveways and other things that then they tear
Just
through.
want us to be broadband ready.
Yep.
I mean, as a former mayor and the current mayor, you hate to put a brand new roadway in and then 6 months later have to tear it up.
Exactly.
That's not what we want to do here. We want to make sure everything's done correctly. And that's working with your public works, your engineering team. Those are the things that Skylar talks about, that we have a lot of internal team meetings that need to go on
Right.
and make sure all those I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments, anyone?
I just have a comment. I just think that this will be a great collaboration of having this roadway put in, for the simple fact, if for whatever reason this did not come to fruition, but this development for this road does, and for $2 million to have this opened up will be a great asset to the city.
Mhm.
I would agree with that. It's going to happen. I know
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
But,
yes.
you know, like I said, beginning, we've already kind of contemplated putting this road in. It was part of our, the STCI, our South Tiff Corridor Improvement Plan. We already kind of laid out this plan. I think first time we met, I was like, hey, look at this. What do you think? And, you know, that's really what began the conversation. So I agree, Tracy. I guess the worst of the worst case scenario is we get a road, which would actually provide some relief to this area to get people from Cleveland. We fixed Cleveland. It had all the thumps in it. We took all the thumps out. It's a great road now. I see this as the future of starting to expand down Cleveland, and it's been a long time coming. It really has. So I think this is a great opportunity to do that.
So for the community, just going through the jobs, you mentioned 700 construction jobs while the project is happening, and then 200, estimated 200 permanent jobs with a $10 million annual payroll. Those are numbers that people really need to hear. That's important because that is the future for our young people. So I just wanted to be sure we
Madam
accentuated
Chair,
that.
if I can just ask one more.
Sorry. Yes, go ahead, please.
If you could just reiterate in regards to your statement where you did say that for this project that you will be utilizing local unions. Say it loud and clear.
100%. It's going to be local union trades. I'm a big proponent of building it the right way the first time and making sure that our local trades are taken care of. They're big contributors to the economic wheel as everybody else is, and they're quality, and this is going to be quality, just not quantity.
Perfect. Any other questions?
One question. I think this is a great project. I thought I heard is a creation of a new TIF district necessary for this to move forward?
It is not necessary for the $2 million, but what is necessary is they've asked us for up to $4 million, and the total of this agreement is not to exceed of a $4 million ask. We have available $2 million. Rather than paying out putting up all that cash at 4 million, I think it would behoove us to take the steps of creating this new TIF, because there's nothing here right now. We're going to get the benefit of collecting all increment off of this and being able to invest it all in here. And then, like I said, it would kind of be, because in 2 years the TIF's going to go away. It would be a project specific TIF at that point in time. It would kind of be left out there to perform. But it would also open us up for that revenue, that other 2 million. We would not have to pay that out. We could pay it out in the form of a bond at that point in time, or they come back and say, "Hey, we'd really like to use it for something. I use it for something else." I don't know.
Phase two is still very negotiable, but the phase two is important to make sure that the outlay for the public improvement side is covered.
Yes.
So if this was on your capital improvement program, on your document that said this is a roadway segment, you would put in play regardless if a development came through here, you'd have to buy the land, right?
Yes.
You'd have to put the public infrastructure in. You'd have to go out there and publicly bid it. Those are all added costs there. So you're going to probably get that much higher than we're doing it on our watch. And you're going to get new money coming in from that new TIF with a new development coming in versus old money that has debt services already required from it. So it's cash up front, and then the development that motivates Matt and his team to go out there and put buildings in a timely fashion to be able to collect off that new assessment to pay back that debt that's still carrying on there. And if we get really aggressive and everything's going well, we can expand and build those buildings much faster because there's a demand for it, like everybody says, then that $2 million gap can be recovered quickly and maybe put into other things in that corridor as we speak. But the cap is the cap.
Yeah. It would just become the first area, and then from there we can expand or leave it as is. It just stays as defined here.
Any other questions or comments? So we need a vote to accept the term sheet.
Tonight, what we're asking for is we put together a term sheet. The term sheet outlines basically, in a nutshell, what we spoke about tonight. It does outline the 11 lots that will be created. It outlines the ask. I think it outlines the two phases, if you will. First phase is the loan. Second phase would be the creation of the TIF and et cetera. Am I missing anything else that it outlines?
And as you said before, it also outlines this $2 million be paid in installments of 40%, 40%, 20%. So
correct. The first 2 million will be paid in the three pay apps. And what else? Keep in mind that this is A. We got to get to B now, and B would be I think executing our redevelopment agreement and getting that in check, and hopefully we'll be able to bring that back on December 8th. And to get it approved. That's my hope, is that we would have all that done.
That's our goal. We understand the holidays are coming up here. And again, we're not trying to fast track this agreement. We want to make sure it's done correctly and everybody understands from our side to your side and get that marriage going forward here. So I think that the other part too, that we want to probably let the board members know, Madam President, that once we get the permit to move forward, then we're, per that agreement, a term sheet, if it gets memorialized, we have 12 months to deliver that public roadway. So we're talking something that's going to be within the next, 15 months. You're going to have a connectability from Cleveland to that already established economic development site that you currently have with Lowe's and Menards.
It's wonderful.
one last thing to say with respect to the economic development agreement, where we ended up with the term sheet, that's basically going to be repeated within in terms of being a narrative within the actual project itself and the project agreement. So we talk about two phases. So you have a clear understanding what the phase are. First is infrastructure and roadways. Second is these flex buildings. And while that's part of the overall project, and they are not mutually exclusive, but at the end of phase one, if phase two doesn't happen, we're still at the same point. We'll have a roadway for $2 million within 15 months, as you said, and that's where we'll end up being, regardless of anything else that goes forward. So, clearly the recommendation and the advice is to approve the term sheet today while we continue to work on an economic development agreement, which hopefully we can put together in short order. If Heather cooperates, I'm just kidding. If we can, we'll put that together and should have that to you next month.
Yeah.
And probably one more thing is we come back in December, with all this being said, between the legal side and our team and your team, we'll probably have a calendar that's being presented in a timeline.
Yes.
And if that looks favorable, if that could be like adopted, so that way we all understand where things may fall in everybody's lap as we move forward and the expectations, so there's no surprises.
Yeah. And if I may just add one more thing, and I promise I'll be quiet. I think the reason why we're doing this too is to give a certainty to Mr. Rossman as well, because Mr. Rossman is then going to start entitlements. He's going to start going through planning commission and doing all these meetings and engineering plans and all these things. He wants some assurance from the board too that this is something that we all want to move forward with. So that's one reason why the term sheet is before you tonight as well.
All right, are there any members of the public who wish to ask a question?
Hello, Scott Mellinger, kind of place. Thank you very much. This sounds like a great development. I know, talking to people in redevelopment, that roads equal development, so roads are good. My question is, instead of a forgivable loan, why couldn't we use the same mechanism we're using next door? Is it the EDC, EDI, a developer-backed bond instead of a city money? Is that not appropriate here? Is it too high an obstacle for them? Would it prevent the development? Because as much as flack we're getting in the public about the development next door at Sola, the funding mechanism, in my opinion, is really slick. These developer-backed bonds that waive city liability and put it on the backs of the developer with no liability to the city seems really powerful to me. So would it be better for the people of Michigan City to force the developer to go out on the market and get a developer-backed bond based on funding mechanisms or legal mechanisms that we as a city can provide for them, but not city money or TIF money or whatever money? Money's money. It's very confusing to me. I am just a layperson at the end of the day. And this stuff gets really complicated, as you all know. But the developer-backed bond, is that worth considering? Thank you.
Do you want me to answer? Mm-hmm. The answer is that we have an expiring TIF. There won't be a financing mechanism down there to do anything like that because it expires so soon. We also want to be cautious that we don't obligate that TIF to anything else because it is expiring soon. We want to make sure we're keeping as much cash as we can, which is another reason why we're not providing the full $4 million in cash. Keep in mind, we got to create the new TIF. That new TIF would then provide that. It is this project-specific TIF. So what they generate would be going to that. Then at that point in time, they'd be able to do a bond, the developer-backed bond, if that's what they choose to do. Does that make sense? Like, basically, it's an expiring TIF.
Any other comments? Any other comments? Okay, thank you. Any other members of the public who wish to speak? All right, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the term sheet for the Tailwinds project, which is, what is the actual address on this project? Do we have an address?
We don't give addresses until they actually build, or
You don't assign addresses?
I don't even know how to explain it in a good way.
Okay, so for the record, if you could just describe the property parameters so the public knows exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, so that was, you pull it up. That was put back and forth today with Adam.
It's 14.25 acres located between Meyer Drive and Cleveland Avenue,
Perfect.
down there somewhere.
Couldn't say it any better than that. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's just below the movie theater, roughly 14 acres spans between Cleveland and Myers.
Directly south.
South of the AMC.
Correct.
Okay. I just want to make sure we got that into the record. I would entertain a motion to approve the term sheet with Tailwinds. And a motion to approve and a second.
I'd like to make a motion for the development agreement with Tailwinds Business Park for the $2 million.
Okay,
I would like to second.
thank you. We have a motion and a second on the Tailwinds term sheet, and then they'll be coming back to us at our next meeting with additional development details. Clarence Hulse?
Aye.
Bill Latchford?
Aye.
Sheila Gross Matias, aye. Tracy Tillman?
Aye.
Sherry Wilson?
Aye.
We have unanimous consent to move this project forward. and 14.2 acres between Meyer and Cleveland, south of the AMC Theater. Thank you so much. We'll see you next meeting.
Thank you guys for bearing with us.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm so sorry,
Go ahead.
person.
No.
Nope.
Do you have something to say?
Nope. It was about the next project. Nope. You're the president.
All right. Next on the agenda, we have the Wabash and 7th Street Development Project. We've heard about this project before, and we're anxious to hear.
Yes. Tonight we have Julian with us. How you do, Julian? Good afternoon. Tell us your name, address, and then the floor is yours.
My name is Julian Walters. I am the president of Eminent Development Corporation. It's nice to see you all again.
Thank you.
I'm here to publicly present my project. So, we'll work through it, work with me. I've never done this without a clicker myself, but 7th and Wabash, as you guys know, is an infill lot owned by a local stakeholder. We've had conversations over the last year and a half or so about acquiring this property and developing it into a mixed-use commercial building. With all of the momentum that Michigan City is beginning to attract and all of the development that's going on, we thought this would be a great space, a great location to kind of ignite that Wabash corridor across the street from the Lighthouse Mall. Quick facts about the project. Obviously, as we get through different entitlement processes, we'll shore up our mix, but we're looking at about 60 units with about 6,000 to 8,000 square feet of commercial space. Looking to attract an anchor tenant. Obviously, as things progress, we would have different neighborhood meetings with the city to get public input just to see what type of businesses people would like in that area. And as we move forward to the next slide, the upshot. I'm here today because I'll need some municipal support as we get down the line. I know we are in talks. We have our debt secured. We have our equity secured, but there is a small gap. I know there's been different financing mechanisms thrown around that I've spoke with to different members of the Redevelopment Commission. And so I wanted to present this project so you guys can see why we think it's a good deal, but then also get some public input and some support so that we can continue through the process. If you go down just a little bit, you'll see the massing right here. What we're proposing is a 5-story mixed-use building with some covered parking and then 32 parking stalls for the residents. Currently, it's an infill lot with a single-family home on the south end of the site that we are gonna demo and have our parking stalls there. Again, we'll have a mix of 2-bedroom units, 1-bedroom units. For young professionals, trying to attract that target demographic and those young professionals that'll be utilizing that South Shore line. Another benefit to this project is its scale, more of that missing middle to mid-size development. With this, when you have projects as big as 11th and Franklin and Solar coming online, this provides more immediate stock, more quality housing right off the gate. We do have a mixed income approach with majority of the units being market rate and then 40 to 60% of the units being workforce housing. For those who may not know, you have your tiers of affordability, 30 to 60% AMI, that's low income, and then 80 to 120 is more moderate to working class income. With this product that I've been talking to with PNC, we're going to attract more of those public professionals while also having the income to support the debt that we're going to incur. All of these units are going to look comparable to what you're going to see in some of the new developments around Michigan City, especially around this downtown area district. And so we're really excited about what we're able to do and the numbers that we've been able to model out. If you go to the next page, that's just amassing. On that corner, those will be the commercial tenants, box tenants. That blue strip is where the driveway will enter to get to the 28 stalls. And then the pink corner is what we're thinking about having a workout facility room, some sort of fitness center for the residents as an amenity. And then as you continue down the slide, so you'll see the floor plan for some of the stores. So for some of the stories, the different levels, of the development. And again, just more proposed floor plans. The next couple pages, we just wanted to show us doing our due diligence. We know Michigan City has its own kind of aesthetic. We wanted to show some of the site context that we had for some of the inspiration. Once we get further with the city, we can begin to hone in on different materials and a different, a more concrete design of how we want things to look within our development. But if you continue on, you can just see kind of some of the buildings surrounding it, and then some of the inspiration for this project that we're looking to create. This is inspiration one, more of a modern look, a lot of glass facade on the street facing, on the streetscape, which would be Wabash. Again, just kind of looking for that middle of what already exists in Michigan City, but also kind of as we transition into a new modern era, with some of these new development, being conscientious of that and trying to capture both with some of this brick look. If you go to the second inspiration, I would say this is kind of more in alignment with what you see in a modern feel for Michigan City. The red brick with the accent color has been a favorite of some of the other municipalities we talked to. But again, we can also mix and match some of these concepts, some of these designs, and create something that not only will the city be happy, but the people who will be living in it. And again, this is probably the most in-depth design we have with that anchor tenant being on that corner. More than likely going to be a restaurant with the apartments above the first floor. And so we just want to kind of show some of the inspiration for what this could look like, and what we've modeled out in the past. And then at the bottom, this is more for you guys to kind of see how we're putting it together, the capital stack, and for financing purposes, all of this is still subject to change. But I really just wanted to show you guys this part because we have a really feasible deal as it stands. Market's changing. There's been some change with the administration. I'm really before you guys today to say, I hope we get your support because a lot of things have been held up in terms of our development, just making sure that we actually have a project and making sure that we can continue to do our due diligence. We're not at, initially we were asking for funds, just straight cash from the city. Now it's more of a developer-backed bond that one of the speakers were talking about. I think that's been some of the conversation. And like I said, you guys work with Baker Tilly. They did an analysis for what we're going to generate, what we project to generate. And so we use their analysis in our request. These aren't just numbers that I came up with. We have multiple third parties kind of give us what they think we would generate with this project. And the project supports the request. And then furthermore, there are partners lined up, for the debt, for construction, for equity. And so we're really getting to a point where we just kind of got to start executing some things, making sure that our team as a development partner is aligned with the city, and that you guys are in support of the project, and you guys kind of understand what our vision is for, the corner of 7th and Wabash. So with that being said, that's my presentation. I can share this with you all if you don't already have it, and then we can kind of talk about some other things, whatever you guys have questions for, but I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Walters.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. I have a question about the breakdown between market rate and affordable workforce housing.
Yes.
Well, you have 60 units, and so what does the breakdown currently look like?
The current breakdown, it will be between 40 to 60% of the units, whatever.
Will it be workforce housing?
Correct.
40%, 40 to 60%?
Yes.
Okay.
So for more context, I'm working with PNC, who's going to be both the equity partner and the debt provider, and they have a new hybrid model based off CRA need that requires an affordable component of it, more workforce housing, just to kind of combat some of the things that are going on, with the federal administration and LIHTC credits and things like that. So this is their kind of solution-based program. We've talked about this, some of the census tracts that this would be applicable in. This site, perfectly enough aligns with the census tract and all of the criteria. So like I said, we've kind of done a lot of backleg work to make sure that, this is a product that's penciling out. And so that's kind of where that breakdown came from, that 40 to 60, 80 to 120 moderate income levels.
Gotcha. Questions?
Two things. One, for the location of where this is. I believe there's a Lang's Meat Market that's there.
Correct.
So has there been any conversations or anything in regards to how they feel about this project being there? And are they going to remain there, or would you be able to incorporate that, because that is a pillar part of that side of the city, actually for the city of Michigan City?
Correct. As it stands, there's been conversations with the owner of Lang's Meat Market. At the end of the day, they have their opinion, we have ours. We would love to acquire that. We've talked to them. We've had some progressive conversations and still open to that, because I think that, you bring up a good point, and it would be perfect for us to incorporate that into our project, into our design plans. But as it stands currently, it's not. Everything that we've modeled out is around the meat market. And still, I think maybe there's still, some hope for me and the development team to kind of get that. But if it's not, we still have a path forward with this project. And as the project that you guys are seeing, that is under the assumption that we don't acquire that project, that parcel.
You just need to know that's a community treasure right there, Mr. Lang.
Yeah.
Mr. Lang, at the meat market.
Yeah.
One more question, and also in regards to future development for that area, what is your take on utilizing local union?
Yes, it's great. So I'm all for it. Local union, non-union, who pays prevailing wages. All of our deals that we've done utilize majority local subcontractors. We've done, Davis Bacon prevailing wage. We're more than comfortable with how to report that and things like that. But, we would love to use local and union and non-union workers.
You said non and, okay.
Yeah. We'll put out, so we'll,
For the region, not just.
correct. So we'll put out a bid set and then go through that process, and they'll go out to the union workers and the non-union workers who pay prevailing wages.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Walters, what is the ask of the Redevelopment Commission today? Like, what is it that we could provide to you other than, I know it's a developer-backed bond. We've talked about that. What is the number that we're looking at?
$3 million.
$3 million. Gotcha. Keep in mind, this is a developer-backed bond. We would have to take some steps to make that available to Mr. Walters, but it is a developer-backed bond. The risk to the city is basically there is no risk to the city other than we're allowing him to have access to our bond ratings, and really the risk is transferred to Mr. Walters, and basically if he doesn't perform, he doesn't get any money to pay it off. But if he performs, he gets to use that increment to pay off the said bond.
Correct.
Just want to get that out there.
Yeah, I think that's really important to note so that the community understands that the community is protected. They're basically using the city's financial security to achieve your bond that you need to construct the project.
Correct.
And it does not have an effect on our bond rating.
Bond rating, right?
Okay.
That's correct. Any questions or comments?
Comment. Sorry. I know that you said that you were seeking as far as hoping that you would have the support or to see if this is something that the board would like to see to move forward. I just want to say for the record, it is nice to see a project like this coming forth that we hear in the community. And I'm not going to even sugarcoat it because there's no other way to say this. But to have a minority developer that wants to bring something like this into the city, we don't visually see that often, but to see that and that the presentation is well put together, and I would love to see this to come to fruition.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Just one thing to know, I think that another part to your point is that stakeholder investment, the landowner, Mr. Abdul Ibrahim, I think that while this is, a public-private kind of partnership, having that community member involved in this, when all this development go around, and have someone from the community who's been in this community having input on this, I think that, that's a big highlight and something that I was really excited once we connected. And I also think that, others would probably follow suit. You know, some people are sitting on land or have some lots that maybe could be developed and they just don't think that it's possible. And I think that, you know, this is going to be kind of that beacon and that example of what could be possible.
Thanks so much. Any other comments?
Just want to say it's great to see a smaller project. I know everybody think we do all on big projects, $100 million plus, but it's always good to see smaller projects come to fruition. And we do this amount of work to get them into the city. And we want to see, we have a lot of empty lots in our downtown and midtown. So it's great to see other smaller projects within the downtown, midtown, east side, west side, because, you know, we want to see development across the whole city. So.
This is a good project. We were excited when you presented to us in executive session some months back, and to see it having moved forward. I've been watching that lot and seeing you accumulate all your equipment and things. So this is exciting for us. Go ahead, Skylar. Okay. So I would entertain a motion to. How should the motion be worded?
We have a term sheet similar to what we did before with Tailwinds. The term sheet outlines that Mr. Walters would be provided access up to, I think, $3 million in a developer-backed bond. Obviously, we have to do a redevelopment agreement, and there's a lot of processes we have to go through to get to that point, which includes the Redevelopment Commission and the City Council to have access to this bond tool. So we have a long way to go, but the term sheet in general allows Mr. Walters up to $3 million and access up to $3 million in a developer-backed bond, and there's some timeframes associated with that as well. Did I miss anything in a nutshell? This was a little bit more simpler than the other one.
It is, and the question I just had though, and it doesn't necessarily block anything, but do we have any approximate closing date on completion dates? And it doesn't have to be exact. I think it's just for the purposes of a term sheet.
Yes, sir.
Because again, we're not necessarily being overly specific by virtue of the term sheet, other than the $3 million
Yes, sir.
and how it's going to be. But in terms of a general sense of when it'll be completed.
Yes, sir. I would say spring 2026, early summer 2026 at the latest. For closing. I mean, when we close, we start the next day. You know, we start accruing as construction interest, so it's going to be, I think, back to back.
Yeah, and that's, you're talking closing not on land, closing up on the project itself and getting it started. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. That would be substantially completed by
2027.
okay. So that's what I'm going.
Yeah, probably about a 12,
Yeah,
14 month construction timeline.
Right. Both those dates. Yep. Thanks.
All right. I would entertain a motion to accept the term sheet for this project at the corner of 7th and. No, sorry. Yeah, 7th and Wabash development project with Mr. Julian Walters and his company.
So move.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Some of the language that Skylar mentioned probably should be included in the summary in the minutes, so people know what we're outlining.
Absolutely.
Clarence Hulse.
Aye.
Phil Latchford.
Aye.
Sheila Bros Matias, aye. Tracy Tillman.
Aye.
Sherry Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you. Your motion has been unanimous.
Thank you, guys.
Julian, thank you so much for sticking with us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate your good work. Next on the agenda is the contract extension for the Chicago Consultant Studio for Fifth and Pine Development. We've been asked to table this due to the lack of clarity on a few terms.
Absolutely. And it's not on their end. It's honestly, we've been working on many other projects and just haven't gotten around to reviewing the contract yet. Simple.
Okay. All right. We'll see that on our next agenda. Next on the agenda is the Christmas tree, 7th and Franklin Street.
Yeah, this is probably one of our more exciting items, right? We are looking at putting a Christmas tree at 7th and Franklin. It will be a big tree. I think it's 40 foot tall, if I'm not mistaken. But what they're asking for is permission to use our lot. It's that simple. It will be also, I think there's going to be the Santa house will be there, and there will also be photo opportunities to be there. I can't remember.
Who is the sponsor of this project?
Oh, Mayor. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I'm so sorry to put you on the spot. This is a quickly happening project. I can't remember who the sponsor is.
Well, it's the park department and special events.
Okay, great.
It was presented to me. Chris Jagelski works on our landscaping contract, and there was an opportunity to get a tree that used to be used with another municipality. So that Friday night before the parade, we're going to do a lighting of the
Oh, nice.
tree and have photo op and all of that. And then Washington Park will open that evening, and then the next day will be the Snowflake Parade. So it'll be a weekend, free hot chocolate and different things like that, but really trying to, I know there's been a meeting with some of the local businesses to try to figure out if there's a way to engage them, to get people to go from there to the businesses, some type of discount or shopping or whatever. But that Friday evening will be the kickoff.
What fun.
Yeah.
I am super excited about this because, as you guys know, we mow that lot and pay for it. And I'll put it out to the community. We want to see it used for things. So.
Great.
They have electricity down there, etc. We want to see it used for things.
That's great. All right. You've heard the description of the project for the Christmas tree at 7th and Franklin Street and the events all associated with that. I would entertain a motion to approve giving permission to the Michigan City Parks and Rec Department and the Michigan City Department of Special Events to access that property and use the electricity within.
Perfect.
So move.
Support. We have a motion and a second to approve the use of the 7th and Franklin Street property as described. Clarence Holtz. Phil Latchford.
Aye.
Sheila Brooks Matthias. Aye. Tracy Tillman.
Aye.
Sherry Wilson.
Aye.
Terrific. No Scrooges here. No Grinches. All right. Next on the agenda, we have an update on the Ameriplex Drive Phase 2 project.
Yeah, I'm going to just give a quick update. I know Mr. Laughlin was going to be here today. He didn't need to be here. I told him I would take care of it. I did confirm today. What you may recall, we did a contract to extend the Ameriplex Drive, and we've been kind of in a debate. Not debate. That's the wrong word. We've been kind of confused on how to bid that out because actually the land is dedicated. It belongs to the Board of Works. It belongs to this municipality, the formal municipality. So what we're going to do and what we agreed to is that we just need to adjust our contract to include in that scope that they will, once they bid and get the design and get ready to go bid, they will go to the Board of Works and ask for permission to bid that out. And then all the bidding would be done through the Redevelopment Commission, through our normal bidding process. And then we would basically just tell the Board of Works who we've chosen. And then from that point on, it will be up to the city engineer in the end to accept the road and put it formally into our road catalog. So that's been the confusion. It's just exactly how's the board, what role does the Board of Works play in this? And I think I finalized that today with Miss LePage, and we have a path forward, and I just need to make a small amendment to the contract, and then we can get that done.
So it'll come up on a future agenda? Or what do you need from us today?
I don't know if I need much. I just need to tell Ryan, hey, we got to go to the Board of Works and ask for permission.
You already approved the contract, but you just need to make a slight modification, but it doesn't change the actual text.
Okay.
It doesn't change the nature of the project. So
Thank you for the update.
Yeah, I just want to give you guys to know why we haven't moved forward yet.
All right, great. Let's move on for an update on SOLA, and I don't believe they need any approvals, but
yeah, no approvals needed. We did have a meeting with them, and we have been informed that they have secured some debt financing right now through a pretty creative through an organization that provides debt financing. So that has happened right now. The debt financing is on the hotel, and it's been provided. We are reviewing the term sheet of that debt financing right now.
any other comments or questions, anyone?
I do not have any other comments.
I think we were going to talk about the $150,000 to be.
Oh, yes.
City Council.
Oh my gosh, thank you so
Control of
much.
that to
Thank
the
you so
council.
much for reminding me. That would have been a miss. Yes. As you know, there is been talk, I think at council about the $450,000, which is theoretically earmarked as a, not earmarked, it is talked about as a donation to a affordable housing fund. I want to be very clear that in that document that we have created, the Economic Development Agreement, that it dictates that the Redevelopment Commission has the purview to put that money where it would like. Where I think the most pertinent place to put that would be into the Silver Birch Affordable Housing Fund for that council has established.
So that fund is established and that would give the council control over the expenditures. And
That fund was established and I introduced that back in 2023. So
And-
that is a great, I'm happy to hear this.
okay,
And there's money in that fund already. This would help out
That's correct. Yes.
for affordable housing. Yes, absolutely.
Housing and this will help to build up that fund to be utilized for that purpose.
okay. I personally like that idea. I think it takes it out of the redevelopment commission, puts it to the fiscal body, and that's a really great place for it because there's people that the controller's office then would be able to help make sure that it's used correctly.
And if I could also add on to that, so when that those funds become available, just as a reminder, so the controllers will oversee that, but it will fall under the criterias CBDG or any other sources that the city may offer to where if your income exceeds and you're just a little bit over that threshold to where you may not be eligible for that assistance, then that's where these benefits could be utilized.
Yes. Keep in mind, we will not have these funds until the project starts, or until I believe they do their bonding. And I think that's when they will. So we're not going to get the funds tomorrow or the next day, but we will get them when the project proceeds.
Even though we aren't holding the funds in our hands right now, I think it's a good idea for us to make a motion to make sure that when those funds become available, we know exactly where they're going and we have a kind of a fiscal plan. So I would entertain a motion to dedicate that money to the city council controlled Silver Birch Fund.
I'd like to make a motion to dedicate those funds
For affordable housing.
for affordable housing to go into that fund with Silver Birch.
Okay, we have a motion. Anyone?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for that affordable housing fund to be designated to our fiscal body, which is the Common Council. Clarence Hulse,
Aye.
Bill Latchford.
Aye.
Sheila Gross Matias, aye. Tracy Tillman,
Aye.
Sherry Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you. We have a unanimous decision to approve that funding assignment. Anything else on SOLA?
I don't have anything else on solo, but I appreciate you reminding me. I'm sorry I forgot to do that.
Yeah. Anyone else? I didn't know if, Mayor, did you have anything you want to say on SOLA?
No, I think that's a great place to put it. I think that every time they say donation, I cringe because it's really paying for the property. I mean, that's what it really is. It's a way for us to do that, but also to know that, you know, community benefit wise, you know, we still have the permit fees and all those other things that are tangible that we'll receive once this moves forward. But it's good to hear that they have some debt financing that they've secured. So we'll see how that goes and keep watching and seeing how this moves and progresses. But I think the Affordable Housing Fund, now that money's going in there every year, that as we continue to work with the churches and some of these organizations on the affordable housing that we've talked about, this could be a good opportunity for us to participate with them, and also with the Lilly money that we received around that same thing around affordable housing and affordability. So good opportunity.
Mayor, before you walk away, you hear the same things that we hear, and that's a lot of discontent about SOLA, and it's been dragging on forever.
Yes.
And I feel that, and I think
Yeah, we all
for the rest of the commission, we're all pretty frustrated.
Yes.
We have, at the beginning of this year, we gave them a timeline with dates, and they have kept to those dates of up to this point.
Mhm.
Can you tell us, looking forward the next 30, 60, 90 days, what the community will hear, what we anticipate as our next steps, and where are we in that?
Well, the bond was, the contract that was signed was December 31st. I know that we all have a meeting coming up here in a couple of weeks to find out where they're at in that process. They've met every milestone so far. I will say that, again, my priority was always the hotel versus the condo. So I guess what we'll find out in our update is where we stand in that process. But they've met all of the milestones that were set forth from June. I think that started in June. They've gone through the process with the council. They've gone through that process. So now we're waiting on our final update from them, and then we'll see where we're at. I think that, again, this is, I don't know how many years now. Feels like a lifetime, but we talk about the community benefit, but again, it's on them as the relationship unfolds that they uphold their end of the bargain and the deal. So we'll see where we stand at that time and present again at the next redevelopment commission. And that's kind of where we're at, end of the month, end of the road, end of the year, and see where we stand after that.
Well, I wanted to be sure that we gave the message to the community that we are watching.
Oh, yeah.
That, your office, your leadership team, Economic Development Corporation, the Redevelopment Commission, we're all on standby. And the confusion and messaging that the community has brought to us, we hear it, and we are very cognizant of the fact that something's got to give.
And part of that, I think, with the EID, that was part of the mixed messaging on something nefarious happening, and really the goal is to protect the city. We don't ever want to go through a Fifth and Sixth and Pine again. We want to make sure that we control property. So that if anything, if we decide to part ways, we don't have a problem getting our property back, right? And I think that's what's important for the public to understand. It was trying to protect what we have and not spend any additional dollars that way. But I think we've had groundbreakings for so many different projects that are happening that we need to continue to hold their feet to the fire and see where we get, where we go from here. So we got another month.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other comments from the board? All right, let's move on to anything on 11th Street garage in the residential tower.
I do not have any updates right now. I know that we're still moving forward. I think the timeline is still March of 2026 for the south, what I call the south tower. It's not really a tower, but the south. I think it's a 7-story stack there. They'll be ready to rent those, I believe, in March of 2026. And then June 2026 for the actual tower, the larger northern tower. So everything, to my knowledge, is still on track, and I haven't heard anything different.
Great. All right, report of legal counsel.
Nothing beyond what I've said earlier. The only other thing is that the Redevelopment Commission did meet in executive session immediately before this meeting. No action was taken, no decisions were made, and all items discussed were consistent with the open door law.
Okay. Any additional comments, Director?
I do not. Well, let me just make one. I really like the smaller projects. I want to be clear, when Julian came in and presented this to us, it really is. Right now, we're doing a lot of larger projects. These small projects are just as important because they start filling in what I call the missing teeth of our blocks, where we've done a really good job of tearing down but not putting back. And this is one where we've torn down some buildings. It'd be nice to see something go back there. And sometimes they just don't fit the traditional mold of what we're doing, but this is a way we can make that work for him. So it's just, kind of stepping out of the box, and maybe it's not $100 million, but it is. I think it's equally important as the big ones. So I'm glad we could make that work. And we've been working with Julian for almost maybe over a year now to try to bring this to fruition.
I agree 100%. I think this commission agrees that those projects are really important. Anyone from the commission have any comments? No? Our next meeting date will be December 8th. And at this time, I'd like to adjourn our meeting. Thank you so much for coming. Oh,
Televised. I mean, it's
Oh,
on Access 99, but it's not televised. I couldn't get it at the house since the microphone. Sir, can you please go to the microphone?
yeah, if you could go to the microphone and just tell us your name and say your comments so everyone can hear you.
Well, you could hear it. Tony Childers, West Side. Why wasn't this being televised through Alco? I mean, it's online Facebook, but it's not online at the house, on TV. So was there mishap there as well?
I'm not going to speak for Alco, but I know a lot of people watch it on Alco. I don't know if today they didn't air it. We had a change in our meeting schedule, so Drew, I don't know if you'd like to address Mr. Childers.
Seems awful convenient.
What I will say respectfully, sir, is that this meeting, along with every other redevelopment commission meeting and every other meeting we have, are recorded and made available on Channel 97. The schedule is available on our website at www.accesssupportcounty.org.
I get that, but we're supposed to be live. That's what we pay for. We pay for Alco, and a lot of money comes out for Alco, I know, from city. So,
And
it's
the live stream is available on the Access Support County Facebook page.
I got you. Heard that before.
Okay,
All right.
Thank
Just
you.
let you know we're watching.
Yeah,
Watching what goes on. Yeah.
thank you. We appreciate your comments. Anyone else before we adjourn?
No, thank you.
You're welcome to ask us questions. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for coming.